All right. That's us live. First time we've had the whole crew together in a while, so pretty excited about that. Let's see some things that have happened, somewhat recently. Um, let's see, what did we do? So we played this game or something.
Shitbowl adventure.
Yeah, well, we had so going back quite a while. You guys were devising a plan to sort of save Simba, and also confront the goblin scourge that's looming in the distance. And so you sort of decided to try and ally some of the different nations, particularly the dwarves and the minotaurs, because they have the largest military forces, to try and work together against the goblin scourge. And in the meantime, you've gone to where Ted is because you believe Ted had been in some danger and sent a note to Simba to come and save him. And so you wound up where Ted was, and he was in his kingdom of Wakanda, where he is king. And he said he never sent a note. And you found out from Long Tusk, I think that was his name. I don't remember now.
That sounds right.
Yeah, he found out from Long Tusk, his advisor, who was the advisor to the king before him and been around a while, also a relative of Grigori's. You found out that note was definitely not written by Ted and looked to be elvish in nature. And in the meanwhile, Mist has gone over to the Dwarven Kingdom, where he sort of befriended the king through nefarious means, but befriended nonetheless, and trying to convince him to join forces with the Minotaurs. He's quite hesitant because they're technically at war with the Minotaurs, and also he has yet to fully confirm the Goblin Scourge, because he sent an envoy, or he sent a messenger raven to the general area where it was going down, and it seems as though the orcs in charge of confirming that had a bit of a snafu, I guess, and so that information is still yet to be confirmed. And you had sent the chicken and the cat and some minotaurs to the Minotaur Nation to try and barter some sort of deal with them, and no kind of real word about that. You heard a rumor that sounded kind of crazy about a chicken murdering, some royals or something. Let's see. You guys lost Melody in the sort of shit caverns. Yep.
Oh god, that's not a place I want to be lost. Okay.
So that happened, and you couldn't find her anywhere. So you've had to move on. Let's see. Mist had dinner with the king and his wife, second-born son, and 2 daughters, I believe. I do have that information somewhere, actually. Yep, 2 daughters. So King Gelford, the king, Queen Amethyst to the Dwarven Queen, Dorian, the second prince, Durnia, and Delphi, the first and second princesses. Let's see. I miss anything? Does that sound about right to everyone?
That sounds about right.
All of you diligent note takers.
Sounds pretty good.
0 notes. Sounds close.
You can tell me.
Cool.
Cool.
I think Clancy had some plans he was brewing, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right.
Clancy has 1,000 plans and a laundry list of shit to do.
Yeah. Let's cut real quick to Melody, who has been wandering the shit sewers for I believe what's been maybe a day and a half now.
Of course, because it's a shit cavern. Everything looks like shit. Of course, I'm lost.
Yeah,
Just look at
something
my
distracted.
shit murals I drew when I was down there.
Something definitely distracted you. What was it?
That sounds about right. It was probably an animal or something, or a shiny rock.
Yeah, maybe an animal carrying a shiny rock.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so you followed it for a ways and then realized you were lost, and then you've just been wandering, maybe even delirious on the fumes for quite some time.
This is so on brand for me. It's scary.
Yeah. So you actually emerge from like a manhole cover, or should I say, a dwarf hole cover, sort of dead center of the dwarven nation when you emerge, and immediately surrounded by guards, wondering how the hell an elf wound up in their sewers, and they also comment on your smell, or no, because
Remember, I wouldn't smell.
Yeah, you wouldn't smell because you have clothes
I
that
have
are
the
eternally
forever
clean.
clean cloak.
Yep, you do, so you don't smell. Yeah, they surround you, and there's like 50 of them, 50 guards, all mithril armor covered, pointing swords and spears and bows at you, and they say so they interrogate you and ask you basically how you got there. What's your response to that?
I was looking for an animal about yay tall. Just carrying something shiny in its mouth.
Roll charisma real quick.
Oh, but that's the one I have the good things on.
Yeah, they don't believe you at all.
Yeah.
They tout you as a
Maybe
spy.
the animal was a hallucination.
And so they're going to escort you to the dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
Of course, that's how I'm going to return.
Funnily enough, as you're being escorted down the hall towards the dungeon, Mist also returning to his room from dinner, you see these like armed dwarves escorting Melody of all people towards the dungeons. What do you do?
I'm like, hey, Melody, what's up? And I move on.
So I literally got distracted by an animal. I mean, that makes sense, right? And then I told them, and they're like, don't believe you.
So yeah. So you're having this as these guards are. So they immediately stop and Mist. As soon as you start conversing with her, one of them says to you, "Do you know this elf?"
Kinda.
Are you? She's a suspected spy. Her lies are obvious. He says.
How? Why?
And then he tells you what she told him, and how she emerged from the sewers.
Oh. Yeah, she does that sometimes. She's not a spy. It was probably some fucking animal or something. She followed it in there. I guarantee it.
So yeah, and he basically
It really
says
was, though.
he kind of goes through a series of like, why should he believe you? You're just an outsider. Blah blah blah, and then they kind of start escorting Melody, further on, trying to ignore you at this point.
I'm gonna use my charisma to try to talk them into believing me. For I am beautiful. Hey, it kind of works.
So
Better than mine did.
yeah, so he hesitates and he says, you make a convincing argument, sir.
I'm not saying not to throw her in a dungeon or nothing. But I'm just telling you she's not a spy.
He says,
Wow.
we'll have to investigate this further, but for the time, perhaps we can put her in. There's probably a word for it, but basically a holding room that's not a dungeon.
Cool.
Maybe like an interrogation room. So yeah, they do that. So Melody, you get thrown into an interrogation.
I just kind
room.
of do one of these things. I just kind of slowly wave, like bye.
So yeah, Melody, as you're getting carted off, he says, the guy who's escorting you says, so what's the truth? How do you know that guy?
He's part of my party, and I tend to get distracted easily.
He says,
And
I mean, he seems
apparently
trustworthy,
he's
but
kind of being mean because he's totally okay.
he says, he says,
Being
he
put
seems
away.
trustworthy, but I just can't believe your lies. And continues to carry you
That
on.
seems a little contradictory, my dude, but whatever. Yeah, of course.
So so that happens, and at the very least, Misty, you know where Melody is. Do you let because you're telepathically linked, aren't you, to Clancy?
Clancy, yes, I am.
Yep.
Yeah, do you let him
And
know
yes,
that
I tell him.
Melody's
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I found her, and like, I'm trying not to fuck this whole "I'm your friend" king thing, and they want to lock her up.
Classic.
So, anyways, and as that conversation transpires, we swap over back to Wakanda, where Clancy and Gray and Gotran,
Don't ask, Amanda.
and Jethro are.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
So you guys last we saw Ted had taken you down into the private royal wine cellar to try some of the finest things. I believe Gotran has like 1,000-year-old mud wine. I know Gray's got some like blood wine from the blood of humans. And
Got it. Ted's trying to get them wasted so that he can have this way with him.
I think we've established that underneath all the BS, that Ted's kind of like a stand-up guy. Takes care of orphans, puts
All right.
drunk ladies to bed, even though their husbands walk in and think he's like having their way with him. Ted's just a byproduct of sort of his own stupidity, but he's got a good heart. But anyways, so yeah, Clancy. You guys are down there drinking whatever. What do you lay out a plan to everyone which you want to accomplish?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a sip of whatever the hell I'm drinking, and I'm gonna be like, so, Melody's in jail. That's fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, I kinda gotta go. I cast a spell.
Okay.
And he always does these things.
I take a little hop, and right before I land, I'm like, hey, later! And I disappear, and I pop up in the Minotaur Kingdom.
Where in the Minotaur Kingdom?
In front of the chicken.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So
Chicken.
hold on. So let's maps. Maps are a thing. Oh, where even is? I have too many maps. I know I've expressed that before, but it is true. Here we go. Minotaur capital. Come on. There we go. All right. So we just skip all these things that we were going to explore once upon a time, and not anymore.
Ew,
What?
Exploration.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Is it the Emerald City?
Well, it's the Minotaur City. Anyways, so you pop up what seems to be a sort of garden square in the center of what looks like a massive stone and emerald castle, and a chicken is standing on sort of this really ornate pedestal, and all around it are minotaurs who seem to be all have bagfuls of maybe offerings, and they're sort of like taking turns walking up to the pedestal and dropping off stuff. And then there's another team, the minotaurs that you sent, sort of surrounding the chicken, and then the cat is sort of sitting, licking his paw beside him.
So I guess I pop out of one of the shadows. And I'm like, "Hey, you guys!"
Yeah, I mean, when you pop up, you definitely startle quite many of the minotaurs around you. Some of them draw weapons, and as soon as the weapons are drawn, an almost ear-shattering cluck resonates from the chicken, and everyone just like stops what they're doing.
I like to imagine that it's literally just him saying "cluck," not an actual one. Just cluck.
And so yeah, that happens. So one of the minotaurs you sent, whose names I've totally forgotten by now.
Let's just say it's Jim.
Sure. Jim sort of runs down. He's like, "Oh, Clancy, oh, glad you're here. Hey, look, I think we'll be able to like work something out with the minotaurs. You know, yeah, the chicken. Well, I think he's their god now."
Hey, yeah, that is one fast-ass chicken.
Yeah, he sort of murdered the royal family during a parade. I just thought we were going to go talk to him. He was leading us, and we were walking. We can't really talk to him, the chicken. But he kind of just like took charge, and so I thought we were going to go talk to them. And then he just like decapitated them all, and then disintegrated their bodies. And then some guards attacked him, and then he like murdered them all like nearly instantaneously. He sort of like flew through them like an arrow, but like as a whole chicken, and just left these gaping holes in their chests. There's been a few other minotaurs that have tried to defy him, and he's just sort of. There's been a lot of murder, if I'm being honest. It doesn't sit very well with me, but it seems to have done the trick. Now all the minotaurs are bringing him offerings, and offering him things. He can't. There's no communication, so I don't know that anyone knows what he wants. But he seems pleased that they bring him stuff.
Well, whatever makes him happy, I guess.
Yeah, it seems to make him pretty happy.
I'm currently on hold with a guy with the Dwarven King who is unhelpful unless I get some help from y'all.
He says, "Oh, what do you need?"
Basically, I need someone with some somewhat royal prestige to come with me.
He says, well, I don't. Maybe there's someone left. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the King Fabian and his remaining son Percy are dead, and his wife and daughter are also gone. No one else since then has come to claim any sort of throne. I'm not sure what to tell you.
Well, do you know where his royal seal is?
Probably in the throne room.
Hey, chicken, is it alright if I use the royal seal to mock up some documents of peace?
The chicken just nods at you.
Cool. Well, that solves that problem. Give me some documents and a Minotaur willing to travel.
He says, "Well, I'm willing to travel with you, sir."
That'll work. In that case, mock up some documents saying you want to have a peace treaty to kill off goblins.
Yeah, okay. Goblins?
Yep, big old horde of goblins.
Yeah, I know you said you saw thousands of them in a field. You want to fight all those goblins?
Well, if we get 2 whole nations' armies, then yes.
He says, "Oh, okay. All right, well, All right. Well, I think. Yeah. All right. I'll be back, and he leaves. And
I'm gonna
So,
relay telepathically that I'm getting that to Mist.
okay.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, Mist, you go back to your room. It's sort of, I guess, we're gonna submit that like enough time has passed where it's sort of mid to late morning, and so you're up and about. Are you doing anything around the castle this time? I mean, you looking to do it? You looking
Not
to
really?
get into any trouble or?
No, not really. I'm trying to make the king want to like us, so
Cool.
I don't really want to do much. I don't know what else I could do.
Yeah.
Miss Rolls
You
for
could always
sucking
prep
up,
him for visitors.
brown nosing, sucking up.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So,
telepathically be like, "Hey, Mist, you should get the king ready because I'm gonna be bringing somebody."
Okay. So it's early morning.
Yeah. Well, early
I'm
to
gonna.
late. Maybe mid morning, we'll say.
All right, I'm gonna start walking around then. I'm gonna go find breakfast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you go in the you go in the dining hall and start looking for breakfast. Meanwhile, Melody, you in the you've been in the interrogation room all night, and there's guards posted outside, and the door opens, and in comes this female dwarf, and she's got a tray of what looks like scones, and the two guards come in with her, and she sort of like, waves them off, and they leave. She sits down and she says, "So, I hear that you may or may not be a spy."
Well, the spy part is incorrect. I am not a spy.
Yes, well, that's what I said, may or may not be.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
You may or may not be stupid.
So, I've never met an elf before. So, you're, have you been an elf long?
I was kind of born one, so yeah.
She says, no, maybe, well, I don't speak Elven. Let's see. How old are you, I guess?
Oh God, how old am I? How old did I start off? That's a good question. Is the markings on here? Jeez.
Well, however old you are, you're technically 200 years older than that,
Melody,
year-wise.
All you have to say, are you going to ask me my weight next?
Yeah. That's impolite.
She
I don't know you. They're going first.
She says, "Oh, I don't mean to offend. I'm just curious. You see, father never lets me leave the castle, and I'm a bit curious about the outside world, and so I've just come to chat a little bit.
Well, for an elf, I'm not old, but I can't even remember. But anyway, yeah, just insert age here. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll say 300 years old.
I'll tell her my age. I just can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
She says, "Oh dear. So, does that mean you remember the time before the release of Lou and Baylor and all of that?"
Yeah.
She says, well, do you harbor any ill will towards the dwarves for trying to eradicate your people?"
Not really. I mean, I have a friend
Yeah,
that's a
babe.
dwarf.
She says, "Ah, well, splendid."
So, yeah,
She says,
you seem
So-
nice.
Well, thank you. I was raised with the best tutors and scholars and taught etiquette and manners and ladylike behavior. Far beyond that of your average dwarven female, I suppose. Father felt it important that I be well read. So, you know, I've read these books. They're actually quite taboo. They're forbidden. But I have a copy in my boudoir. They're called the Grigori Chronicles. Riveting tales full of elves and dwarves and orcs and gnomes. There's all these things. It's regarded as heresy, you see. But it's quite thrilling. You see these adventurers. They band together and they kill the gods of all things. Exploding Tyrannosaurus Rexes and
Wow.
and ship battles, and it's so thrilling. I can't even imagine the life of an adventurer. Do you have any tales that you could share? I would be most interested in hearing your exploits out in the world.
I'm just a humble musician and an adventurer, but the adventures, there were trees and animals and things like that. Very, very druid in nature.
Oh, well, I guess we can't all be living jet set lives out in the open, full of death and murder and excitement and boys. And so
It's humble, but yeah.
So she carries on with you for a while, and that goes on. Meanwhile, over in Orkanda, Gray and Gotrin and Jethro and Ted. Ted is
And Agnar.
and Agnar. Yes, sorry, and Agnar. Ted is trying to goad you guys into a game of dice.
Don't play dice. I don't trust dice.
Is it the numbers on them, Gray?
What about Gotrin?
I wasn't
and
there, but
Jethro?
I wouldn't imagine.
Agnar will play some dice.
I will watch this game of dice.
Gotcha
Say
pulled
what?
out his own special dice from his pants that smell like ball sweat.
Ah, hell,
I got ball
that's where
sweat
we're
dice.
at now.
He says, "Oh, I
It's
see
limited
ya.
edition for a reason.
A man of class." He says, "All right, I have my own dice too. They're made from goblin bones, actually." He says, "All right, dudes, let's roll." And so let's get for everyone playing. Let's get you to roll. 4d4, we'll say.
Oh, ignore that. So I put the dice in my beard, shake them around, and throw them on the floor.
Nice. All right. And is Jethro playing as well?
No, Jethro's watching.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you toss the dice, and simple game. It's right. It's highest number wins, right? So Gotrin and Ted are tied. So you got to go another round. So toss another. Yep. So yeah,
The
Gotrin
ball
wins.
sweat is with me.
Right. And I have no idea what you guys bet. So
God's forever with you when you're.
right. Perhaps
He gets
Ted,
down on
but-
all fours, and I fart in his face.
Okay, because if it was money, Ted was gonna like issue you an IOU, even though he's the king. In fact, Ted's like, oh, I can't pay you right now. Like, I don't have the keys to the vault. They won't let me have them for some dumb reason. So I'll have to get my my advisor to like release some of the funds. But then do you propose the face fart in exchange
Yes,
for money?
I did.
Yeah.
I proposed the face fart in exchange.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
And as he gets on all fours, and Jethro gets on his back, and I fart in his face.
Yeah. So I guess roll on.
Is Michael breaking up for anyone else, or is it just me?
He's breaking up for me too.
Oh really?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. What do I do about that?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Bless you.
Yeah.
If there's anything I can do
Thank
to...
you.
What do you need to roll on? So I just rolled 2d6. There you go. It's a good one.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a good
yeah,
one,
yeah.
Mike. There we go. I just rolled 2d6. Just flat.
He passes
I
out
rolled
for
an
about
11.
30
It's a
seconds.
good one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when he wakes up and he goes, whoa!
He wakes up
Whoa.
to Jethro and me rolling around on the ground.
He says, whoa, oh my God. That's like, dude, that's like the best fart in the world. You should bottle that, dude.
What happens when I eat the burritos? Or ork-ritos, whatever we just came
Or
from.
Fritos.
Burritos, shit.
So yeah,
It was Orconda, so it has to be ork-rito.
yeah, they were cool ranch Orquitos. All right, so great. You're seeing all this go down. What is your? Do you decide to join in the dice play or no?
Probably not after
I'm
that.
not even gonna say anything about it. I don't expect anything different.
Ted's like, "Come on, Gray. You know you want to play."
Just gonna look at him.
So, if Gray's nose is that sensitive, does he take some
No,
damage?
no, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Just gonna step back away from this rank ass that was just plagued upon my nose.
So, at any rate, back in the Minotaur Kingdom, Clancy, the Minotaur you sent, do we say his name was Jimmy or Jim?
Sure.
He
I honestly
he
can't
ca-
remember either.
Yeah, it was literally like 10 minutes ago, but sure. I don't remember. You don't remember? No one remembers. He comes back and he's just got like an armful of like.
Remember, we took
When
When they're all
expert-
basic names, it's hard to keep track of
Yeah.
them.
Like he has just like an arms full of like various royal papers and like stamps, and just kind of like spills them all out in front of me. He says, so listen, I can't read.
Okay, so I think there might be a delay in my voice for some reason.
Maybe.
I hear you.
Yep,
I hear
that
you
took
too,
like
buddy.
3 seconds for Gotcha to respond.
Okay.
Give me a second.
No, never.
Always.
Oh,
Hello.
No.
Hello.
okay. All right, cool.
Oh.
I guess I'm gonna sift through the papers, or no, I'm gonna sift through whatever sigils there are and be like, does anyone know which one the royal symbol is?
Roll. Just roll a wisdom. Yeah,
Wow, nice.
you're able to spot it. You spot the what looks like a the royal sigil of the Minotaur Kingdom. I mean, being in trade, it's likely you've seen it before. So you spot it.
All right, so I'm gonna pick that up, grab some of the parchment. Is there like a quill with it? I'm assuming
Sure.
if he can't read, he can't write.
Right.
Then I'm going to really quickly draft a somewhat formal note saying that they want peace until the goblin threat is vanquished.
Okay.
And I'm just going to stamp the paper with it and be like, all right, you're coming with me.
He says, "Okay, boss."
I'm going to look over at the chicken and be like, keep up the good work.
Chicken nods at you. You also notice that there's probably like, nearly 1,000 gold worth of jewels and money and items surrounding the chicken at this point.
I take a firm mental note of that.
Yeah.
And I cast a spell.
All right.
With the 10, I give a click of my heels and me and the Minotaur pop up in front of Mist.
Mist, do me a favor, actually, real quick. Roll a Defy Danger on. We're gonna go Dex. It's not really Dex, but there's no like luck. So. Okay, cool. You had just pulled up your pants from taking a massive dump.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
it's-
what the fuck? Hey guys.
Hi, smells like shit in here.
Smells like Gertrude.
Yeah, I just took a shit.
So yeah, there you are. And luckily you're all there, sort of in somewhat of private. You didn't pop up like unsuspectingly in the Dwarven Kingdom like Melody did. So now what?
Yeah.
I'd be like, so, Mist, I've got a note signed by the Chicken King. Oh, by the way, the Chicken's king now. He has a ton of money. But I have a royal decree saying they want peace, and I have a Minotaur to prove that I'm not just making shit up.
Yeah, okay.
Now I will.
About
see
the unicorn whatchamacallits, we'll deal with that after we deal with the king. I'm gonna need you handy with a knife.
I'm handy with a knife?
Yes, good.
Why?
So
You'll be cutting me.
Oh, fantastic. I've always wanted to do that.
So you
Don't let you
Your,
drink drinks.
your characters would probably know that, like, if you just like waltz out into the hallway with like a Minotaur who they're currently like have declared war with, that would probably be bad. And your characters would probably know that. So.
Oh yeah. So make the king send someone to the front gate, and that's where we'll be. Totally walk here.
Sounds good to me.
All right, cool. With a snap of my fingers and a flick of my wrist, I cast another spell. With an 11,
You are on
and
fire
it is
tonight, sir.
fucking right. So nice,
About time.
right? And the placement is 1 mile away from the gate.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And so, Mist, what do you
Yo.
what do you do?
I'm going to find the king to tell him that an emissary and a friend of mine has personally come to speak with him.
Yeah.
And
So I
the
mean,
court?
you'll find a guard, and I guess sort that out. So it's a process, like to go see the king. He's busy. He's got stuff going on, and so it probably takes close to an hour before you get in front of him. And he says, Mist, sorry, it's busy life being the king. I'm sure you understand. And so what is happening?
I have gotten word that an emissary, my friend and a emissary from the Minotaur Kingdom has come to parley with you.
He says, "Oh, really? That's surprisingly fast."
I also agree. It surprised me as well.
I can't even.
It literally scared the shit out of me.
He says, "Yes, well, you might be using literally incorrectly, sir, but who am I but a simple dwarven king to tell you what grammar is?" He says, "I will send an envoy to meet them. Also, I've been told that we have someone in custody in our interrogation room that might be an acquaintance of yours. Is that correct?"
Yeah, I know her.
He says, "And do you know why she would just suddenly arrive in the Dwarven Kingdom? Via sewer, I'm told?"
Yeah, so a while back, my group, we got lost in a dungeon and it emptied out in a sewer, and we lost her in the sewer. And I can only assume that she saw a small animal or something shiny and wandered away. And we tried to find her, but to no avail. And I'm assuming that she just happened to pop up here. It's quite odd. I was not expecting it.
He says, "How peculiar. The Dwarven sewers are rife with all terrible kinds of monsters and oddities. And in
You're
fact,
telling
there's
me.
even
That's gross.
there's a magic barrier preventing outside entrance to it. Even as the damnedest thing that she would even be in there in the first place."
I also agree with you. It's
He
weird.
says, "But since you're such a good, trusted friend, if I release her into your custody, then can you guarantee that you would look after her?"
Let me be honest with you, guy. I've known her for a long time. She really doesn't mean any harm, but like, I don't want you to think any less of me if something happens. I'm not saying something will, but like, she just gets lost sometimes. So if she ends up somewhere she shouldn't be, feel free to arrest her. Just leave me out of it.
He says, "I think the best we can offer then is we will blindfold her and release her some distance away from the kingdom."
Fantastic.
Cool. He says, "Well, I must return to my affairs, and I will see you later once the emissary is in the castle."
Thank you for your time.
Sure. And he leaves. Melody, time has gone by, and you've gathered that the person talking to you is a princess, a dwarven princess, and she's told you her name.
Yeah.
Is Delphi, and right now she's really curious about trying to talk to you about love and soulmates and all that kind of stuff. What advice do you give her regarding those things?
Oh God. I mean, I guess I'd relay some of my story to her and just say, take care of you and the rest will follow.
She says, I don't believe it will ever follow. If my father has his way, he'll just set me up with some duke or some fat old dwarf who's been around for ages and can't seem to get food out of his beard."
I'm sorry. I hate that for you.
Yeah, and comes a knock at the door, and a number of guards are there, and they're like, "Sorry to interrupt, princess, but we must take the prisoner. We have direct orders to release her outside of the kingdom. And she says, "Oh no, but we were just getting along so swimmingly. Well, I guess it can't be helped. No, and unfortunately, we ladies have no power in the Dwarven Kingdom. Well, Miss Elf, I never got your name. What should I call you?"
Mel.
Mel. Well, it was a pleasure
And
talking
no, it's
to
not
you.
short for anything.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Perhaps one day we'll meet again. Provided they don't kill you as soon as they get you outside the castle. You're not going to kill her, are you? And he says, "No, ma'am. That's not our orders." And she says, "Well, I hope that you're not lying to me for my sake and that you take care of her." And he says, "Just releasing her, ma'am." He says, "Yes, well. Anyways, if you're not dead, perhaps we'll meet again, Mel. Yes, I will take all your advice to heart." And then she leaves. They re-blindfold you, cuff you, and sort of go through the process of escorting you out of the kingdom. Meanwhile, outside, Clancy and Jimmy, you guys, have you been in contact with Mist, waiting for, when because obviously it took Mist a while to get a hold of the king and all that?
Yeah.
Hello?
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, I've been running knock-knock jokes by Mist for like the past 2 hours.
Okay, cool. So I mean, Mist,
be right back,
I would
guys.
assume, informs you that the king has sent the envoy and they're on their way now. So,
All right.
Yep.
It's time to be hitting this old mile walk.
yeah. And so the whole time, Jimmy says, "Hey, so Clancy, I guess you read pretty good, huh?"
Oh, yeah. I had to read ledgers all the time.
Yeah. Do you think, like, one day you could teach me to read?
Whatever you say, kid.
Well, it's whatever you say, because you're the one that would have to teach me, right? That's how that works.
All right. Well, how about this? If I teach you to read, teach the other Minotaurs that don't know?
You want me to teach them to read?
Once you're learned, of course.
Oh, I can try.
You got it, kid. Shoot for the stars.
Oh, if I shoot a star, will that help me read better?
Yes.
Oh, what do you shoot stars with?
Love.
He says, "Well, how do you shoot love?"
Well, it might take a few years of practice. If you concentrate hard enough and keep shouting, Kame, Kame, ha! You just might be able to pull it off.
You gotta tell
that's-
him to go sit. Oh, you gotta sit in the bathroom and grunt for about 2 days first.
He says,
Also, eat your oatmeal.
He says, Kame Kaha, is that like Elvish or something?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I'll practice that. He just sort of annoys you with his ignorance the whole walk. So you get about a quarter mile out, and there's a sort of battalion of guards escorting a blindfolded and handcuffed Melody away from the kingdom in the headed towards you, but going in the opposite direction.
I nonchalantly, while filling Jimmy's head with nonsense, will be like, "Hey, Melody, I'll pick you up in a bit." She's
the
also
last
gagged
melody.
right now.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, some sort of transaction happens, I guess, and they carry on. So yeah, you get to the entrance, and I guess I could click on this. Yep. There's some very stately-looking dwarves waiting there by the guards. And as you walk up, obviously seeing the Minotaur, they're like, it's like, you there! What is your name? And Jimmy says,
Howdy!
so Jimmy says, me or him? And they say,
Shut up, Jimmy.
and they say, both of you. Jimmy says,
Hi,
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Clancy. This is Jimmy.
Yeah, it's me. I'm Jimmy. And he says, and then they go, state your business.
We're here by royal decree from the Minotaur Kingdom to
He says,
negotiate a ceasefire.
He says, we've been expecting you. If you'll come this way, we'll escort you into the kingdom. And like 10 guards show up.
Cool. Let's get moving.
And, yeah, so they start escorting you in. Time has passed, and we're back in Orconda. Ted has done a number of things since you guys have been there. He's shown you his room. He's really proud of it. There's all these posters up that are of what look like punk metal orc bands. Then there's also a picture of Grigori, his uncle, and a picture of his mom and his dad and that kind of stuff. And then he's got an axe in the corner that's been like turned into a guitar. So he's like, I'm telling you how cool his room is. And he's like, and yeah, bros, like, once all this is over and like the goblins are dead, like we should have like a party, and like you guys could stay in the castle. My treat.
Hell yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
He says, yeah. He says, yeah, I had that guitar over there, like made to look like that axe that you carry, Agnar, because like I said, I had it before, and then like it got taken away from me because they didn't think I should have it. But I really liked it a lot, and so I described it, to our blacksmiths and had them fabricate one that kind of looked like it.
What an honor. Well, when I'm done with my job here, you may take my axe.
He says, "Oh, that'd be awesome, but I don't know if Mist would let me have it."
Well, just tell him that I said finders, keepers, losers, weepers.
He's, oh yeah, bro, yeah, and then like I'm hoping one day like I can get all those orphans and like move them here, although it might be kind of cold, so they may not like it too much, but maybe I could make a fire, like get someone with magic and make a fire that never stops burning, and the orphans would stay warm. Yeah.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, for sure. He says, hey, Gotrin.
Yo.
So, like, I know this is, like, weird and random, but, like, can I throw you?
You can throw Jethro.
Okay. Is he okay with that?
Jethro's okay, always okay.
Cool. Let's go to the courtyard. And then so they go out, yeah, he says, can I just like grab him by the feet? Is that okay, Jethro? And Jethro looks to you.
Football, Jethro!
Agnar starts running down the field like, to me!
Yeah, so Ted grabs Jethro by the ankles and starts spinning him. And let's see. Let's see how that goes. Roll, darn you. It does not go well. It's a wild throw. Jethro just like gets slung off into the distance, and there's he lands in a snowbank way off in the distance, and probably is knocked unconscious. And Ted sprains his wrist also in the process, but he acts like he didn't do it. And he's like, "Oh, whoa. Guess I don't know my own strength, guys. I don't know where he went. I'm sorry, dude."
I'm gonna walk up to Ted
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be like, "You all right there, buddy?"
So, oh yeah, I'm good.
I'm gonna place my hand on his shoulder, and then I'm gonna lay on hands.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I remade him up as an angel, I gave him access to the multi-class dabbler, and he gets lay on hands from Paladin. I'm only explaining that so I had enough time to pull it up. Okay. For a 9. So I'll take his sprained wrist from him.
Okay. All right. He's like, "Whoa. Oh man, I'm feeling pretty good. What'd you do to me, bro?"
I don't know.
All
I remember is that I can touch people and it feels good.
Your wrist hurts now, though, for sure.
Ow. I immediately tried to start doing push-ups to work the pain out.
I don't know if that's how that works. Gotron, are you going off to find Jethro, or?
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
tripsing around trying to find Jethro.
Yeah, Gray, are you helping?
I'm calling Jethro.
I guess I'll help.
Jethro!
Yeah. Yeah. Gray, roll to discern realities. Let's see if you can't sniff him out.
Nope. Oh man, that's a little laggy. Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely find your way to him fairly quickly.
This way. I point.
Yeah, and he's like in the snowbank, just like covered in snow, unconscious.
He's an idiot. Let's go get him. I just grab his leg and pull him out.
Yeah.
Man, that is a lag.
Right?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of lag too. It's weird.
It's definitely laggy.
Yeah. All right. So, meanwhile, back in the throne room, Clancy and Jimmy arrive, and they've summoned you, Mist, also, so you were all there with the king, and he has his second-born son, Dorian, also. And so they're all there, you and them. Clancy, what do you do?
I give a deep bow and say, "Oh, esteemed king of the Dwarven Kingdom, I hold with me a letter." And I'm going to brandish it up in the air.
He says, "Yes, that looks like the seal of the royal family and the Minotaur nation." He says, "Bring it here."
I'll walk up and hand it to him.
So he looks it over, and can you roll charisma for me?
Of course.
Yeah. He
I
says
roll this.
he
These
sure.
charisma rolls tonight are not hitting.
Do I roll on my charisma or just a flat
It's
D2d6, right?
so assist would be like plus bond, so like be 2d6 plus 1, essentially.
Yes.
You see, you bump up to a
Straight helped.
7. You bump it up to a 7.
Hey, it's
And,
still a pass though. It's better than that
right.
fail.
So he's like, this does not look like typical Minotaur handwriting. He says, but it has the seal. And that's important. He says, any reason this looks the way it does? As he looks to Clancy.
Indeed.
And I speak up and say, "Well, sir, they're probably very nervous about this. You guys have been clashing for quite some time."
He says, well, the war's only been declared within the last month or so. We were once all allies under Lou, but when Lou fell, it all sort of fell apart. Shame, really, but the Minotaurs lost their drive for extinguishing the magical races, and while I still believe in the purest society, it's just no longer sustainable at this current state of the world. He says, so it looks like they're going to fight the Goblin Scourge. I take it they've confirmed the goblins exist?
Indeed. And I bring Jimmy as proof.
Jimmy says, and he kind of looks over at you, like in his eyes, you can tell he's like drowning.
I guess I give him thumbs up.
He says, yes, it's confirmed. There are goblins, and the Minotaurs are going to fight them. Yes, and our the chicken. When he says the chicken, do you do anything?
Is delicious.
He's and he looks at you confused. And he says, and then the king's like, why are we talking about chicken?
You see, Jimmy's a little simple-minded. He continued to talk to me about learning how to read. So now, unfortunately, I'm locked in a binding contract in order to teach him how to read. Luckily, that makes for an excellent message carrier because he can't do anything about the letter.
So the king goes, he says, yes, typical Minotaurs, they don't herald the academics like we dwarves do. They just want to drink and fight all day. And while we dwarves love a good row, it matters the education as well. He says, well, with this seal, I can certainly take it on good faith. We can certainly begin the negotiations for an alliance and working together, I believe.
Excellent, Your Majesty.
He says, I have a question though. I was quite perplexed, you see. For you and I, we talked only days ago in a cave. That's correct?
Did we?
I believe that.
It seems like it was months ago.
I don't recall it being months ago. It's only been 3 days at best. And I'm to understand that in that time, you've been to the Minotaur Kingdom and back to the Dwarven Kingdom? It's impossible.
Yes, sir. I know it seems impossible, but as you said, the extermination of magic is important. Oh. The extermination of magic is important. But in order to do so, we must combat magic with magic. So I have been using a mystical item that allows me to transport myself at high speed.
He says, "My, such an item would be a national treasure."
Indeed. It was the faith placed in me by the Minotaur Kingdom.
He says, at any rate, I guess we'll have an envoy sent to the Minotaurs to further open negotiations, I suppose. In the meantime, I'll have the War Master start preparing our troops.
Very well, Your Majesty.
And
He says, "You're all welcome to stay as my guests, and during that time, if you wish."
Yes, that would be lovely. May I stay with Mist?
He says, "I could get you a room of your own, but if you wish to share lodgings, then who am I to complain?"
Mist, that's okay, right? And then I look
Yeah.
over and I wink, but he can't see it because I'm still wearing a globe.
yeah, man, whatever.
He says, "Well then, it's settled. Perhaps you would all join me for dinner later this evening."
Sounds lovely.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. And he dismisses you, and you go and do whatever you do. In the meantime, Melody, you've been dropped off about 2 miles out from the Dwarven Kingdom, just in a random forest. They take the blindfold off, take up the handcuffs, poke you with the end of a spear to sort of like push you forward, and say, "Oi, get along now, shoot."
Do I look back reproachfully and go and just make sad eyes? No. Yeah, I might do that too. No, I'll just walk forward.
Yeah.
If I
right.
hiss, they may take me back into custody.
Did you hear
Especially
earlier
if I bite a guard. That's frowned upon.
Did you hear earlier? I think you had walked away, and Clancy had passed you as you were being escorted out, and said he'd come back for you later.
Oh, okay. Then if I heard that, then I'll sort of. I mean, yes, I will stay away, go away from the guard, but I will stay in that general vicinity
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
to be looked for, I guess.
Yeah.
I can discern realities. That might be a thing.
Okay.
Perhapsical. I should know this by now, but I don't. Okay.
Yeah, and your wisdom, your wisdom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I see things.
Yeah. So you do recognize some of this forest, and let's see. Nearby there is a town. It's the one that you guys went to that trial at with Hawkins, and you ended up in a chase scene. What is in that town? So, but you do see that you're probably within an hour's walk of that town.
Okay.
Do you proceed there, or do you just hang out in the forest?
So I kind of. Oh, yeah. I guess I kind of proceed there.
No, not that one.
Ooh, pretty.
Nope, that's not the right one. Where is this thing? Oh, I see, there it is. Too many maps. You guys have been too many places. There we go. So, yeah, you head off that way. All right, cool. So, back in Wakanda, Jethro has regained consciousness, and Ted's like, "Hey, bro, sorry, my bad. Listen, I was talking to my boy Agnar over here, and I think, maybe he'd like to throw you." He says he can do better.
I would indeed.
Say enough throwing for today. Time for some beer and eating.
He's okay.
Agner kind of kicks his foot and shuffles towards the bar.
So also who's got the note? Does Clancy still have the note that was written?
Which note?
The note that was written, that was supposedly written by Ted, but not by Ted.
I think I had that.
Okay. Well, it had been passed around, so I don't know who ended up with it.
I don't remember.
Oh, it might have been.
I think it either ended up with Gray or it ended up with Long Tusk.
Okay. We were positive that Longest would have handed it back to somebody. So, I just didn't know if you guys were trying to have it looked at by someone else to see if they recognized Origin or not. But at any rate, all right. Yeah. So you guys are together with Ted, and Ted says to Gray, he says, "So, like, Long Tusk said, like, maybe an elf wrote that note." To Gray, because he's got it.
Maybe.
He says, you know what we need is, like, an elf to look at it. That'd be cool. Maybe an elf, like, would know, like, another elf would have written it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that didn't
How
help at
informative.
all. So
He says,
so what
you
you're
know,
saying
like you need like a thief to catch a thief, or you fight fire with fire, or like, if
Oh,
you
I
got
can
herpes, then you just like get more herpes.
All this reminds me of is that little kid that was like, did you ever dream? Did you ever?
that did not help at all. But yes,
He says, man, I hope Simba's okay. Like, I miss that little dude. He's my buddy.
yeah, I hope he's okay too.
Yeah.
So we need to find somebody else to look at this and see who wrote this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think,
Do you know another elf?
so like, yeah, like, there's this chick, Melody, that I know. She's an elf.
Some days I wonder why. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I understand why he hates you.
He says, nah, man, she's pretty cool.
Yeah,
She sings these cool songs, and
yeah, I'm aware of what.
and
he does.
she's got this darkness inside her. Yeah.
Hey, I got that cleared up.
He doesn't know that though. He's been gone since that happened.
That's true.
Um,
And I'm not
he's
there
like-
to explain it away, but whatever.
right. He says, "Oh wait, you know Melody, don't you, Gray?"
Yeah, I do know Melody.
Yeah. Where's she at?
I don't know where she's at right now.
Oh. Cool. Okay then. And that kind of just goes on.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
That's not
Meanwhile,
a conversation.
back in the Minotaur Kingdom, the Dwarven Kingdom, sorry. Clancy, you and Mist have, gone back, and Jimmy have gone back, I guess, to Mist's room. What is your plan from here?
I'm gonna
Shoot
turn
down.
into a unicorn and have Mist cut out my kidneys.
roll for transformation.
What?
Done.
Okay, what the hell was the transformation? Right. 12.
You are a majestic unicorn, sir.
Right.
You are a biological unicorn.
I telepathically to Mist. I'm like, all right, now I know where my kidneys are because I can feel them. So,
Can you?
Okay.
I
I
can't
guess
feel
I would
my
know
kidneys.
where they are from reading the book. Maybe
Yeah.
just cut in there, figure it out.
Yeah, Miss roll a
Just
dex roll.
point. Nay.
Uh-oh.
Clancy is bleeding out. You
Hold
effed
on,
up.
hold on. I'm gonna spend out of my 3 holds. I'm gonna spend 2 and make that an 8.
Okay, all right. You get the kidneys
your
out,
eyes
but
on the
maybe
table,
like
Mel.
you've
You've got
botched
it
the
now.
job a little bit. Roll some damage on Clancy.
Okay. What's mine's a D8, so that sucks, bud.
Yeah.
Now wait. I know we did the damage, but listen, I got a thing. It's a thing. I have a cup that says "use for injuries."
What?
I don't know. Mike gave it to me in one of these fucking Kukumimi quests, and I've never used it.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm gonna pour some water in it, and I'm gonna let Clancy drink from the cup.
Okay.
Jokes on you. It's a joke. Cup. He gets more injury.
I see this happening, and I walk up to next to.
Oh,
Miss
you're
to
not there,
cup
sir.
check. Oh damn it! I want to get a cup check.
I'm gonna de-transform and then take the cup and take a swig.
So I guess I'm like you're gonna be like a kidney less on your mass, whatever that is.
Man, down a kidney and down a testicle. This is going good.
Not necessarily missing a kidney, but like so let's think about it this way, right? In Star Trek, the transporter like breaks you down and reassembles you, right? But like you have less than you started with. So whatever percentage of a unicorn's body their kidney is, you're now missing that percentage of mass. So I guess
they found a new way for liposuction.
Right. Roll on Constitution for like, I guess how detrimental that amount of mass missing is.
7.
Yeah. So let's say
Don't think too hard on it because it's gonna go away here soon.
Okay, you're missing a finger.
Ah,
What did the cup for injuries do?
So he gets his HP back.
It just instantly gives your HP back.
Well, what did we not specify like how much it healed for?
Well, it said cup used for injuries, and I said, "What does it do?" And you said it heals you, but you never said it like instantly healed or how much it healed for.
Yeah.
So I just have 4 injuries and then question mark.
God, where did you get that cup from? I don't even remember if I'm being honest.
This is why you can't just
I
randomly
think
use
from realm or some shit, man. But it says used for injuries.
All right, get a D4 back of health.
I don't
Who doesn't
fucking
take
remember.
notes now?
nice. Okay, and then I cast a spell on myself.
Okay.
With a 7, I'll lose it after, and I cast Repair. Choose one event in the target's past. Damage, poison, disease, and magical effects from that event are ended and repaired. So,
Okay.
I get my finger back?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Butt cheek,
So
finger,
to be
and also whatever.
clear, I've got everything I need for my magical item now, right?
Did you get the other things too? There was like a list.
Fuck. What was the list, Michael? You gave it to me.
Oh my god, you were supposed to write it down.
As far as I was aware, the kidneys were the only thing that was going to take a minute to try and get.
I feel like there was something else. But I don't have the time right now to go back and listen to the list.
So the answer is yes.
So the answer is we will immediately revisit that upon the next session.
God damn it.
So all right. So Clancy, you've become a unicorn. You've become a biological unicorn, and then gone back to being a biological half shade. And now that you've swapped species, what is next for you?
Once I eat dinner with the king, I'm getting the fuck out of town so I can go pick up Melody and then go back to the Minotaur Nation and drop off Jimmy and then go back to the other guys and then potentially come back up to pick up Miss later.
Cool.
All I could think of was like, as Clancy just dies on the table, and Melody will be like,
just
Clancy,
just in the woods, just
kind of.
he was supposed to come get me 4 days ago.
Yeah. All right. So you know what? Roll for me on Clancy. Let's roll on. Let's roll on Dex.
12. Nice.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna just sort of resolve that those things will all happen fairly quickly, and basically.
Okay, so Jimmy's back. They know they're gonna have to have some kind of emissary. Like, I want to make sure to specify that.
Right. So we'll basically next session. By the time next session starts, all of those things will have been resolved, right?
Yeah.
So we'll cut to dinner with the king in just a minute, though. Meanwhile, over in Orkanda, Gray, Gotrin, Agnar, Jethro, Ted, Long and Long Tusk have actually all met for dinner in the palace, right? So you guys are all sitting around the table, and like dinner is basically like a meat salad with a side of meat, and then the main entree is just like a full boar's head, and then there's
I
some
would
like
love that place.
there's some like meat soup on the side. So, and that's what you're having. But anyways, as you're sitting there, so Long Tusk is looking over at Gray, and he says, "So, Gray, was it?"
That's my name.
He says, "You know, I have an eye for magical enchants and various other goings-on in the magic realm, and it seems to me that you are not what you seem to be."
Go on.
He says, "Well, not that I can put my
Yes.
finger on it, but do you have another form, my good sir?"
Praying mantis.
If I did,
If you did, I would just be curious. He says, that is my understanding that...
you know what they say, curiosity killed the halfling.
It's a good thing I'm not a halfling, then, I suppose. I'm made of sturdier stuff. I'm strong enough to be curious. He says, and don't think that this other one has escaped my gaze either. And he gestures towards Agnar, and he says, you, sir, are also magical in a way.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
if
you're
we-
magical too.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, so
magic
if
of
it was,
friendship.
what's your point? You just
Merely
curious.
an observation. I'm not trying to be hostile in any way. I'm just making
I'm not trying
observations.
to be hostile.
He says,
Okay.
I'm just wanting to know who I'm here sharing a meal with. That is all.
Well,
Agnar's like, I'm an angel.
well, there you go.
He says, an angel, really? And what god do you serve?
Up here we go.
I want to roll on something to sense how he says that.
Okay.
If it's like mad or whatever.
I guess charisma.
He's like the god of Joe Mama.
5, perfect.
You have no clue.
I'm like, it's Kratos.
You detect nothing.
He says, Kratos? I believe cousin Grigori once wrote me of this Kratos. Is god of violence, I understand? Is that correct?
War, but yes.
He says, sounds like a lovely chap. He says, we quite adore violence and war, as orcs. He says, we don't believe in worshipping a god ourselves. We think that the only god is war itself. But I can respect one who serves a god of war. He says, what purpose do you have here on this plane if you are, as you say, an angel?
I don't rightly remember. What I do know is that I'm here to kill something.
He says, forgive me if this is a rude question, but are you stupid?
Yes.
That's not
yes.
nice at all.
No, I only ask. It's good to be self-aware, and I applaud his honesty. He says, "Well,
Lies
I'm
are
sure."
too hard to remember.
He says, "I'm sure you're quite a wonder in battle." And so he
I
looks
pull
over
the
at-
axe off my back, split it, and put it back together.
He says, "Oh, what a marvelous trick! 2 axes in 1. How do you achieve this?"
I don't know.
He says, "That
Some
that
guy
makes
gave it
sense.
to me.
I got excited and forgot the conversation we were just having." He says, "Anyways."
Who's stupid now?
He looks. He says, "So we have Gray, the mysterious magical being, and then we have the angel."
Who else is at the table?
Ted, Gotrin, Jethro, Longtusk, you, and Agnar.
That's all that's there.
Yeah. So then he looks over at Gotrin.
I look at him real quick. I'm like, "Don't be alarmed." I turn into a werewolf.
He says, that is a marvelous trick. I much prefer this version of you.
And then I turn back into a human.
He
No.
Says, He says, what a shame. What a weak and frail form you choose to parade around in. Then he looks over at Gotrin and Jimmy and he says, so, what purpose do you serve? Are you food, or are you a meat shield?
To Jimmy or Jeff?
To both of you.
I just pick up some of the meat thing and just keep looking at him and make eye contact and never break it while I'm eating the meat off the bone. No answer. Jethro follows my lead, so we're both just eating, staring at him.
He says, I see. And he looks over at Gray and he says, are these ones stupid as well? No offense, as he looks at you and looks back.
No, they're not stupid.
We still don't break eye contact.
He says, I see. Perhaps
Agnar begins mimicking them.
perhaps this is humor? I don't understand humor, but I know it exists and it is employed by certain creatures. And Ted's he's like, nah, bro, that's just it's their vibe, you know. It's their riz. That's the riz.
No.
Yeah. Long Tusk looks over at Ted and kind of like puts his hand down and looks like through his brow. And Ted's like, he's like, yes. So these gentlemen express their charisma by acting in this way, Sir Long Tusk. He says, better. So the evening goes on in that way. Meanwhile, back at in the Dwarven Kingdom, Mist and Jimmy and Clancy and the royal family and their guards along the wall, but they're not at the table, all sitting down for dinner. And the king says, well, isn't this a sight? I've never imagined having so many eclectic persons at my dinner table. How my life has taken a turn since I've befriended you, Mist.
Isn't life grand?
He says it is something. Meanwhile, Clancy, roll a discern realities for me.
Eight.
Yeah, so you notice the youngest princess is acting awkward in a way. And she kind of is looking over in Jimmy's direction.
Nice.
And so Queen Amethyst
telepathically to Mist, I'm like, I think the princess wants to fuck the Minotaur.
Ride the bull.
I cover my face like this and I chuckle.
And Queen Amethyst says, "Oh, is something the matter?" Looking at Clancy, are you having a fit of hysterics?
No, it's just it's a beautiful sight I never thought I'd get to see, sitting at a table with such royalty.
He says, well, yes, I imagine it must be quite awe-inspiring for a commoner to dine at a table with royals. It's a wonder my husband has entertained such a sight. Perhaps growing quite soft in his old age, as she looks over at the king. And the king says, yes, well, these new times call for new measures, I suppose. And then, so Dorian, the second prince, says, Father, must we continue to dine with these commoners? I'm quite tired of this charade. And the king says, Dorian, mind your manners. We did not send you to finishing school to be such a rude twat. And the prince says, Father, I'm old enough to make my own observations now. I will be king one day, you know. And he says, yes, one day, but not soon. My heart still beats strong. The older of the two princesses leans over to the younger and whispers in her ear, and then they sort of like have a back and forth, and there's a giggle, and Jimmy is oblivious to anything that's going on. He's just sitting there, and he's looking at the food, and he's not touching it a whole lot, and he kind of like mutters like, "I wish there were more fresh greens." Just kind of under his breath. And so, do Mist or Gray have any like particular questions they want to ask or topics they want to bring up while they're with the king?
Nope.
Yes, what is Gray doing here?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Not Gray.
I unless I have now learned Shadow Step, which I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, sorry, not Gray.
No, I make polite banter, and that's about it.
Yeah. Cool. So the evening starts to come into a close, and the princess sort of like, as she's walking by Jimmy, just sort of like blushes and kind of hurries a little further along, and the queen shoots kind of a disapproving look at that interaction, and her and the king stand up, and then they leave, and the servants gesture for you guys to leave as well, and as you're all leaving, Jimmy had noticed the queen having a disapproving look, but he has no clue why, and he says to you, Clancy, he's like, Clancy, that queen looks she looks mean.
Oh no, sir. She is just a very protective lady.
Protective? I mean, you think they're scared of me? I mean, I'm just one Minotaur.
But don't forget, y'all have been at quote unquote war for a month
Right.
now.
Sure, but if they wanted to kill me, I mean, there's like 100 guards in that room. They could kill me in an instant. I'm no threat.
True, but they know if they killed an envoy wishing for peace, it would look poorly upon future public relations.
Oh, but like, there's no king and queen to care about that.
Yes, but that is not something you should be saying out loud.
Oh, sorry.
Listen,
So,
Jimmy, when we get back, I'm going to have a talk with the chicken,
yeah?
and we're going to need to impose a, let's just say a ghost king.
Oh, like, and you see him like squint, and he's like, are you suggesting we set up a fake government with a faux king that totally, acts in kind to fool the king and have him believe that everything is hunky-dory, and so, in essence, proposing a ruse that allows us to achieve our goals? And then he like squints and shakes his head and he goes, "Oh God, blacked out. Oh, sorry, Clancy. What were you saying?"
Remarkably, albeit surprisingly astute.
What? What do
Yes.
you mean?
We're going to have a fake king.
Oh, that's like lying.
It is like lying. But the only thing is, the reason we have to do it is because the Minotaurs listen to Minotaurs, even though they also listen to a fucking chicken. And to be honest, I'm not sure how well a peace treaty between the Dwarven Kingdom and a chicken would go.
He says, well, what if like, and like, I'm not saying I'm for this, but what if the chicken just like murders the dwarves like he did the Minotaurs? Do you think that would work?
And then I just ponder in silence.
He's like, I'm not saying like that murder's the answer. I just like it worked there. Like maybe it could work here.
What do you think, Mist?
This sounds like a terrible plan, but you know, it's an idea.
Let's just keep that one on the docket, Jimmy. That one will be Plan B.
Oh, but there's no ships around. I don't know how well using a dock would work.
You're a good kid.
Oh yeah, yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you've done good here today. Proud of you, Jimmy.
Oh shit!
Cool. I mean, I'm proud that you're proud of me. I think.
Can I stuff Jimmy into my bag of holding?
Yes.
You'd have to cut him up to do that.
Come on.
I used
like, I didn't
the
hear
11th
no.
level spell Contort Jimmy into a fucking ball.
That no fit.
There are no 11th level spells in this game. Alright, cool. So I think that's probably like a great place to sort of fade out, and then we'll resume next week with Clancy having done
Jimmy in the bag.
the things that he had intended to do, and reuniting Melody with some group somewhere.
Melody's going to Wakanda. I'll take Mist out once. Actually, I don't have to take Mist out if he gets his thing.
That's true.
Well, no,
As long
because
as we
we
keep
posited
telepathically.
his thing would allow him to travel like 50 feet ahead or something, not like long distances.
No,
like
we
that.
posited. No, we agreed that I could travel within my sight. If
Okay,
I
within
can
your
see
sight,
it,
sure.
I can go there.
Yeah, but you can't see from
So
there to work on.
you know, if it's 10 feet,
No, but
Or-
he'll,
no,
he'll
I
attempt
cannot.
to make some hop, skip, jumps.
yes, I can do that shit. But it is no 5 feet. I said within sight, and you said yes.
Okay. Yeah, not like across the continent though.
No, I can't. Oh, I can't see across the continent, so obviously not.
Yeah.
But if there's like 1,000 yards out, and I see a boat, I can pop onto a boat or something.
But what if
because,
you
I
look
don't
with
have
your
special
special eyes?
this
Not yet.
this continent is round. The planet you're on is round. So
This continent is absolutely flat, and there's 0 trees. I can see all the way across it.
all right, cool. So yeah, we'll sort of resume next week with those tasks having been taken care of, and then I will
Fantastic.
also check into the other items that you may or may not have needed, so we can resolve that as well. So
Yay.
yeah. So all right, cool. Things happened, and there was success, and we were all here, which was pretty awesome. So
It was a remarkable amount of success.
Yeah.
A lot of success, yes.
Thanks-
And we didn't
thanks.
fuck anything up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well, except for like
I couldn't.
Jane,
I was
um,
locked
Look,
up for half
first
the
of all, if I
campaign.
tried
Hey!
to free you, I would have fucked it up. I know it. Michael was baiting me into that shit. There was no way it was happening.
I know.
He's like,
just
"You sure
presenting
you don't want to go do
opportunities."
something?" I'm like, "I'm
I know.
nah. You're trying to fuck me up. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing your game today, sir."
Also, like,
I
I'm
was
not
like,
dead,
you know,
so
you
it's
could-
good.
you could-
It's fine.
Yeah. You know,
last
Jethro,
time
did-
you said
We
that.
totally
we
ignored
definitely
you, and
shouldn't
today
have
everything
trusted
turned
you,
out
but
great.
Whatever.
Nobody's dead. Everybody survived.
Oh, guess what? First note I'm
tossed
taking.
unconscious.
Ignore mine.
He kind of did.
Yeah, but
Jethro.
he's got that one tag on his armor, expendable.
Red shirt. All right. So thanks to Brazil. Much love. Bye, stream.
Later, Brazil.